Can everybody hear me? Hopefully. I want to make sure I did not hear a cling or a ding saying I was unmuted. So let me try that again.
We can hear you, Justin.
Okay, very good. Sorry about that, folks. My connection didn't say I was unmuted. So, okay. Well, thank you all for joining. Sorry, Mayor Pro Tem, I was a minute late. As I was mentioning, I was going through the data from the Paycheck Protection Program. As I said, as we got started, it was the signature federal stimulus program that we promoted very early on and highly encouraged Shiawassee County businesses to jump on. It was, I think, the best business assistance program that has ever been available. I know it's been hugely impactful for many of our companies here in Shiawassee County, and they finally released not all of the data, but enough data for us to make some interesting observations. And I won't go into all the information right now, but what I can tell you that I'm very excited about, nearly 600 Shiawassee County businesses got PPP money, nearly 600. I was blown away. We were having a staff call earlier this morning, and we were sort of trying to guess what those numbers might be. I guessed 250, and I was on the high end. So we're at 600. So I'm extremely proud of that. We're going to be doing some more analysis. They've broken it down by those that got 150,000 or above and those below. So we'll get into that more, but I just wanted to share that. That is mind blowing to me that nearly 600 Shiawassee County companies got PPP money so far. So very, very proud of that. And I wanted to share that information with all of you up front. So anyway, as I mentioned at the start, we have a very robust agenda today. So I want to jump in with all of our speakers, and I'm going to start with our local folks here in Shiawassee County. I'd like to introduce Scott Kerner, who is our prosecutor here in Shiawassee County. Wanted to have Scott on. He's going to talk about things that his office is doing, specifically as it relates to helping address business and workforce issues. But I talked to Scott last night, and he had suggested that my good friend Matt McCone, who's also an attorney here in Shiawassee County, would have some great information to share regarding some other legal issues that could be very impactful for some of our local businesses. So wanted to give you all sort of a legal update today, and I think both Scott and Matt are going to have some really great information to share. And even though today's update will be brief, I talked to Scott last night, and we agreed that it might be good to have a separate call, maybe a longer call, a half hour or so we can dive into these issues more. But with that, I'd like to turn it over to Scott and Matt to talk to you about what they are working on. So Scott, Matt, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. This is Scott Kerner. Good morning, everyone.
Yep,
this is
good.
Scott Kerner. Okay.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Yeah. I'm recently appointed as prosecutor back in April, and needless to say, this has been a great challenge that I've embraced. Who could have known back in March when I accepted the position that we were going to be dealing with COVID, and I'm sure as all you small business owners and larger business owners are as well. I want the community to know that we're here to support you. I know that there's been an uptick in crime and vandalism during this COVID time. We've been working closely with the police department to investigate these matters and make sure that the businesses are protected. A lot of the issues that I've been dealing with from a criminal standpoint is, what businesses are essential, non-essential, and giving opinions regarding that during this time. Again, we've seen an uptick in vandalism and destruction, which is very frustrating to me, and I'm sure to all of you in this community. And we're working hard to make sure that those things don't continue. As far as the courts go, we've been on a limited basis. Our office is essential. We've been working on a full staff here for the last couple of months. We've been doing a lot of hearings via Zoom, so things are still being prosecuted. Things are going forward. Normally, the prosecutor would not be in the courtroom. There will be a defendant in the courtroom, and we would participate for Zoom to do hearings, pleas, and settlements. Hopefully, as things open up gradually, we are going to institute jury trials again. They have been put on hold. I've been told that there's a possibility of a jury trial in August. That's not confirmed, but that could happen. We're doing some unique things with social distancing. The jury would most likely be picked outside of the courtroom because of the capacity. So we would use a local gymnasium to do that and then convene once we got it down to 12 people. I know a lot of the questions that you may have regarding masks. That's a hot topic. And what your obligations are, what employees' obligations are. That's one reason I wanted to get Mr. McCone on the call as well. That's more of his area. But I really want to let you know, small businesses, I will do anything I can to assist in this during this time during COVID and help you out any way I can. And feel free to contact me with any of those issues. Thanks.
Hey, this is Matt McCone. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep, you're good, Matt.
Okay, thank you. Justin, thanks for having me on. Scott's right. First of all, I want you to know that I've been working closely with his office for the last 3.5 months since Scott took over, and they really do have their thumb on this issue. They're all over this, and I'm excited to see his reelection come up here soon here in November. But regardless of that, what we've done is I represent the village of New Lothrop, the city of Durand in Shiawassee County, and Scott did a presentation with New Lothrop, and they had several different questions regarding masks and the requirement of the use of those masks. And the executive orders do require that if you're in a local business that you wear a mask if you're able to do so. The only real exception is if you have some sort of medical reason that you can't. Now, what we're seeing, at least in Shiawassee County and Owasso specifically, is that generally it's about 50% of the people that are in these stores, at least my observations, that are wearing the masks. And people say to themselves, well, isn't that against the law? Technically, it is against the executive orders, but really nobody's enforcing that part of it. And so it's up to the individual store owners or shop owners to do that. They can require their employees to wear a mask. They can certainly even require their patrons to wear a mask because they are individual property owners and store owners. They are able to do so if they want to, but they're not necessarily required to enforce that. That would be up to local law enforcement, which I don't think that we see happening very often in light of this. And there is a lot of confusion when it comes to the executive orders. There's over 100 of them as we, since March of this year. So it becomes confusing, but it's really sort of up to the local shop owners as to what they want to do about the mask issue.
Oh, are you there, Matt?
I'm there. Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
So
I don't know if you cut out. Yeah, go ahead.
So obviously, if people have questions regarding those things, I know that's one of the biggest things the biggest questions Scott and I have had in presentations that he and I have been in together is to what's happening with respect to the requirement of wearing masks. And Scott, I think you've ran into that as well.
Yes, that's correct.
So Justin, I guess I don't know if you guys do a question and answer type of thing. I've not been involved in this particular type of conversation before, but if there's some sort of clarification that we can help with, or some sort of question and answer that we can be involved in, I'm certainly happy to do that.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. And what I'd like to do in order to keep things moving, I'd like to hold questions right now and then have our two additional speakers talk. And then when we're done, with the speakers. Then we'll take questions from everybody at that time.
Very good. Very good. Thank you.
So,
I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Matt. Thank you very much, Scott. And as I mentioned at the start, we're going to look to do a special separate session with both Scott and Matt so we can get even more in depth on these legal issues. So thank you both for that. Great update. Thank you for all you're doing to protect us here in Shiawassee County. I'd like to now introduce Rodney Parkkinen, one of our friends at the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. I've known Rodney for several years, knew him in a different capacity when he worked elsewhere at the state. But now he's heading up an initiative that formerly, I guess, would have been known as economic gardening, for those of you who are familiar with that. But it's got a new name now, and I'll let Rodney talk about it. But it's, from my viewpoint, a great program to help particularly second stage companies, and once again, I'll let Rodney explain that, but help second stage companies recover from COVID-19 through some of the programming that they can offer. And the best part of it, it's actually free to companies in Shiawassee County that want to participate. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Rodney to tell you more about it. Rodney?
Yeah, Justin, can you hear me okay?
Yep, you're good.
Awesome. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Like Justin said, my name is Rodney Parkkinen with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and really appreciate you guys inviting me to talk to you about a program that we have at the MEDC. Some of you may have heard of it before or participated in it, but it is a great program for second stage companies. The part of the program that I'm going to talk to you the most about today is called the System for Integrated Growth, which is a part of a larger program called Second Stage Growth Solutions, formerly Economic Gardening. The System for Integrated Growth is really a program that addresses issues that impact second stage companies' growth, whether they're internal problems that you might be experiencing or outside the walls of your company. Some of the examples of those pain points that you might be experiencing, including getting a handle on any financial management and understanding what your books are telling you, better understanding and learning how to better recruit, retain, and develop talent, which is an issue that so many employers face, especially during these times, right? Exploring new markets and creating prospect lists within those markets and analyzing competitors as well, kind of what they're doing in the marketplace and evaluating your market position as well. Getting prepared to export from documentation to identifying, global markets, as well as setting up any distribution channels that might be necessary. Another example might be bringing in best practices on supply chain and operations to complement the working knowledge your managers already have. So those are just a few of the things that can be addressed. The way that's done is through a group of, we'll call them SWAT team experts. These are subject matter experts from around the country. A number of them are in Michigan, but there are some from around the country that they are experts in their designated field and have been vetted by our partner, the Edward Lowe Foundation. The MEDC partners with the Edward Lowe Foundation to be able to bring this program to Michigan. Edward Lowe Foundation, if you're not familiar, is headquartered in Michigan, but they do have a very national presence to them. This program is also offered through partners in the other two states that offer this program strongly are Louisiana and Florida. It's that national perspective that really makes this program so powerful. The SWAT team of experts doesn't necessarily dictate a particular course of action, because every business is different and the obstacles you're facing might be different, but instead they provide best practices and valuable data to help you better manage and grow your company. It's a great program. It's meant for, if you're eligible, you would be a for-profit, privately held company generating annual revenue between $1 and $50 million, employ between 10 and 99 full-time equivalent employees. You'll need to have demonstrated growth in employment and or revenue during 2 of the past 5 years. And of course, with the current state of COVID and all those things, we do take into account, obviously, 2020 being kind of a weird year for some people. Some people have seen tremendous growth. Others have seen some lagging just because of the world. And then also, your business should provide products or services beyond the local area, either to regional, national, or global markets. Really, we want to focus on, it's for Michigan-based companies. Those fees are covered by the MEDC. So it's a great program. It's about 8 to 12 hours of time commitment spread out over approximately 2 months. Everything is conducted virtually by phone or video conference. It kicks off with a call between the CEO and a subject matter expert that serves as the team leader. That call is meant to clarify the company's various needs. Then they put together a team of experts based on your needs. And then you have a call with those subject matter experts to dive deeper into those pain points. The subject matter experts then prepare presentations, right? Deliverables, those best practices and data points that can help you, drive decisions. They deliver those materials through, phone calls virtually again. And then you'll have what's called aftercare, 30, 60, and 90-day touch points with the team leader, where you identify action items for the next 30 days. And then 30 days later, that team leader has a call with you to find out how it's going. I liken it to use something Justin will understand. It's like going to the gym versus hiring a trainer, right? Going to the gym, you kind of try to do it on your own, but having a trainer and having somebody hold you accountable is really what I hold that kind of aftercare call to being. It's really about making sure that all the momentum you build through the System for Integrated Growth, you're able to take action on and have somebody kind of just check in with you and make sure everything's going well. That really kind of covers the main pieces of it. Any industry can really apply, again, as long as you are providing products or services beyond the local area. So it's great for, Main Street businesses who might have some products that they deliver outside the region, manufacturers, and so on. Really a wide variety of opportunity within this program. It sounds like we'll have time for Q&A later, so I'm happy to take questions at that time.
Thank you, Rodney. Sorry, that was my phone ringing in the background. I'm actually calling in from the office today, which is very nice. But I do want to note we are doing a special session with Rodney on July 14th, a week from today, I believe at 2 p.m. And I sent out information on that last week to everybody. I've already had, I believe, 1 or 2 RSVPs. So if you'd like to get into this more and learn more details on it, 2 p.m. next Tuesday, we'll do that. And I do have a question for you, Rodney, but as I mentioned, we will wait until the end here and then take all questions at that time to keep this moving. So, okay. Well, thank you, Rodney. Great program. Hoping several Shiawassee County businesses would be interested in taking advantage of that. Our final speaker for today is Janie Stewart from Kettering University. Many of you know Kettering to our east, one of the top engineering schools in the world. We're lucky to have them right next door. And so I wanted to have Janie come on. We talked recently, and they have some special training programs that they believe might be beneficial for Shiawassee County employers. So, Janie, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Justin. Good morning, everyone. Over the next 2 to 3 minutes, I just want to tell you some exciting things that are happening at Kettering University that you may be of interest to you. Many of you probably think of Kettering University as an engineering college. However, what is not known to many is that Kettering also offers business programs as well as corporate training and continuing education programs. In fact, the online Master Business Program was ranked #1 in the state of Michigan last year. So we're very proud of that. In addition to the business program, we also offer graduate certificate programs, global leadership, healthcare management, operations management, and supply chain resources. Now, these certificate programs are short-term. They're typically 3 to 4 classes, ranging from 6 to 11 weeks. Now, the other part that I want to mention today is the corporate training and continuing education portion or division of Kettering University. otherwise known as Kettering Global X. This is a new division to Kettering within the last year, and we formed this division because we realized that the investment in training and development programs for employees can be costly and time-consuming for employers. So Kettering Global X helps to ease this concern. We are positioned to support companies with their training and development needs by extending the same quality of Kettering University's award-winning programs into corporate training services and continuing education units. So what does that mean to you as the employer? Some of the highlights is interactive training sessions, meaning face-to-face, although that has been limited ever since COVID started. Online or a blended combination of on-site corporate training and online. Individuals learn from industry experts, otherwise known as subject matter experts. They have a number of years in the industry. The course length is also customized to fit company needs. So if you come and tell us that you're looking for a short-term program, 3 to 6 weeks, we can take our award-winning programs and condense them down to what you need. We actually go in and do a needs assessment for the company, because a lot of companies think, well, I need training on lean processes, or I need managing people for high-quality performance. What we'll do is come in and do a needs assessment so you can really narrow down exactly what is needed in terms of employee training. Again, the delivery, we deliver programs so that you have the ability to transfer training to the job or life situation. Our philosophy is learn today, use tomorrow. So we want to make sure that we're offering the skills and the abilities that employees need. We have relationships and partnerships with over 550 corporate partners. They provide insights into market demands and the needs of the global industry. So we're always up to date on the technology. And I guess if there's one thing I can stress about this Kettering Global X is the programs are designed for the employers. We don't come in with a canned program. We realize that every company is different, the needs are different, and that's why the needs assessment is very important in the beginning. And that's about it. I can answer any questions at the end.
Okay. Well, Janie, thank you very much. I appreciate you joining us today. I do believe, as with the other two, we will be having some type of additional informational session with her for companies that would like to learn more about their offerings. So, Janie, thank you for that. Before we jump into Q&A, I've got actually several updates I wanted to share with all of you. A lot of things going on. For those of you that are joining us now, as you know, we've been doing daily calls for months. We've scaled now back to once a week. So these once a week calls are going to become very, very robust in content. The big thing I want to mention to you, and some of you know this already, there is a brand new grant program that is coming from the state of Michigan. It's actually federal stimulus money that the state legislature and governor approved. Long story short, it's going to be very similar to the program we had back in late March, early April, except a lot more money. I don't have an exact dollar amount on the total yet. We're going to get in Shiawassee County, though I would anticipate it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood, I'm going to say around, give or take, $900,000. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little more. But if it patterns what happened last time, probably around $900,000. So that's obviously a lot of money, a lot more than we had last time. We had about $91,000. These will be grants. These are not loans. These will not have to be paid back. Here are some of the caveats that you all need to be aware of. Number one, the application process is going to be standardized statewide. So last time we kind of had to put our own together. We had to email it. It was kind of inefficient. The state has understood it was a challenge last time, so they are standardizing it. It will all be done online. That application will be open, to my understanding, 1 week from tomorrow. So 8 days from now, July 15th, that application becomes available. I believe they're going to give companies 2 weeks to respond to that application. You have to be below 50 employees. So that is another caveat. Also, if a company got a grant the first time around, they will not be eligible for a grant this time. So unfortunately, to the 23 businesses in Shiawassee County that got dollars the first time, they will not be eligible. It's unfortunate. No one knew this money was coming. Otherwise, maybe some of those businesses wouldn't have applied the first time. But, unfortunately, they will not be able to apply. Maximum grant, $20,000. So a really good chunk of money. Last time the max was 10. I believe the most that was awarded to any one business in Shiawassee County was $8,000. So definitely a bigger, more robust program, more dollars per company. More companies are going to get money in Shiawassee County. So please, if you're interested in that, please keep an eye out for that. You're going to hear a lot more from us probably in the next week or so, just trying to keep that program on your radar screen. But this is it will be the best state program grant-wise that we have had so far. So definitely you're going to want to keep an eye out for more information on that. And I'm certainly happy to take any questions you have afterward as well. Okay, a couple of other things. We are reconstituting our e-commerce group. So details, time, date to come. But for those of you who are doing business in e-commerce, we've had one session already. We have talked with Josh Willard from Josh's Frogs. We did it here at the Armory several months ago before the crisis. Really good session. We had 47 people show up. We all know e-commerce is an even bigger issue now. So the idea is getting our businesses that are in e-commerce or want to get into e-commerce together, either in person or virtually, given what's happening, and connect, network, talk to one another, learn best practices. Our speaker will be Jessica Syvertson from Avon Grace Co. Some of you know Jess, Avon Grace Co., incredible e-commerce business. They just opened up a studio in Langsburg and a coffee shop in Langsburg. Jess sells online. She does live shows. She has other people that do live shows typically every night. Really amazing business. So more to come on that. We are also looking at an event coming up late July. I believe the date is the 29th. Once again, more details to come, actually probably later today, a hiring event. So as I've talked to several of you, and you hear me mention on the call regularly, those that are hiring, let us know. A lot of companies are looking to hire again. The end of July seems like a very good time to do such an event, particularly if the federal unemployment benefits are not extended. I do believe a number of people will probably be looking for work at that time if that $600 is going away. So this is actually being done in support and in conjunction with the folks that are helping to organize the census outreach. Shiawassee United Way is involved. Capital Area Community Services involved. The Y is involved. So it'll actually be a little bit of a dual purpose. We'll want to have a hiring event, but also have an opportunity to talk about getting the census filled out. Anyway, for companies in Shiawassee County that are looking for workers, will be looking for workers, if you'd like to participate in a hiring event to try to get job candidates, that event is going to be later this month, July 29th. More details to come on that. Another item, you saw an email from me likely yesterday. We want to reconvene our group to address child care needs in Shiawassee County. This is another thing that we began working on before the crisis. The crisis kind of slowed it down, but now, once again, more than ever, childcare, access to childcare, affordability of childcare, quality of childcare is a major issue. And particularly, I think, depending on what happens this fall with the school district and schools being open, it's a tremendous issue. We need more of all of it in Shiawassee County. So we want to work collaboratively with local leaders on trying to find ways to address getting more quality, affordable childcare in Shiawassee County. One more thing on the PPP. They have extended the deadline. So if anyone has not got in on PPP, they passed legislation allowing applicants, I believe, until August to apply. Given the numbers I shared with you, I don't think there's too many businesses left in the county that haven't applied, but keep an eye out for that. If you do want to still apply, let us know. Also, the EIDL program, Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, that is still open. That is the one that is not a forgivable loan like the grant PPP is, but there is an upfront grant based on the number of employees you have. So it's $1,000 per employee up to $10,000. So I know several of you have informed me you did apply for that recently through our communication. So that's good news. And then finally, talking about safety, talking about masks, we do have the spreadsheet, the database that Jody in our office has put together of businesses that we know that can provide masks, hand sanitizer, things like that. So that list is always available to you if you need it. So, and then of course, testing, if anyone needs testing, Memorial Healthcare offers virus and antibody testing. So that's it for now. That's a lot of stuff, a lot of great speakers today. I would like to open up the floor as promised. If anybody on the call has a comment or a question for any of the speakers or a question for me or any comment in general, please hit *6 on your phone now. *6 on your phone. Does anybody have anything? Any comments or questions for me or any of the speakers today? Hit *6 on your phone. Okay, well, as promised, we will be doing follow-up sessions with the speakers for you to be able to get more information from them on their relevant topics. In the meantime, as always, if you need anything from us or any of our speakers today, I will send out a message with their contact information. And one last call. Anybody have any comments or questions? Hit *6 on your phone. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. As I said, a very robust call today. We will be back with you next Tuesday, but if anything happens in the meantime you need help with, please give us a call. Thanks.